What is up, everybody? This is the West Coast Defensive, bringing you the sports news and breaking down sports. Anyways, today we're going to break down or talk about the first two games in the NBA Finals. Of course, we have the Phoenix Suns going up against the Milwaukee Bucks, who now find themselves down 0-2, losing both games to Phoenix in Phoenix, and Phoenix goes up, which I love. I picked them to win the finals. I love it. On our full show this past week, if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. It's interesting. But a lot of the preview I did leading into this series, this finals, it really was dependent on if Giannis was even going to play, if he was going to miss a game or two. I think we all knew he was going to get in, but on Tuesday night of the day of game one, in the morning, he was doubtful. Later that day, questionable. And then ultimately he did play, and he played well. So my whole thinking man, if Giannis is out, this is going to be rough for them going forward. This is a game Phoenix will probably win, honestly. But doesn't matter. He played, so far he's played both games, and he has made an impact. Game one, he had 20 points, was shooting 6 for 11 and 7 for 12 in the free throws, but 15 rebounds or 17 rebounds overall. So he was there. His presence was felt. He ultimately played 35 minutes, so the knee is not an issue. It's probably sore, but it's not as big as a deal as probably most people thought, and that was probably intentional. Why let your opposing team know he's fine and he's going to get in and play? But ultimately, hey, he played and he did good, right? Game one, Phoenix won 118-5. In this game, I remember at one point in the fourth quarter, they throw this infograph up, and I think at this point, Phoenix was up around 20 points. I think it was actually right at 20. That's important because the infograph they threw up was the free throw shooting and how people were shooting, right? So the Bucks, I think they ended, let me get the team stats real quick. I was on the wrong thing. They shot, where's the free throws? They were 9 for 16 for their free throws. Win, right? Not the best. You don't want to be shooting that. On the flip side, they were shooting 56%. For Phoenix, though, they ended the game shooting 25 for 26. And at the time that infograph went up, Phoenix was up by 20, and they were shooting 19 for 19 of their free throws. And I was like, wow, the first game really came down to when Phoenix got to the line, they took advantage of those opportunities. They didn't miss those shots. They went on, I think they were 24. I think they were perfect at 25. And then I forget who misses the last one, but I think they set a record. At least it's been the first time in a while that a team has gone that long not missing a free throw in a game. They were 25 at one point, I believe. I don't think it's that important to know. They ended the game 25-26, 96%. And I think that was a huge, like I said, that was the difference in game one, is that free throw shooting, that getting to the line consistently and taking advantage of those opportunities. Into the fourth quarter, they had it missed, and they were at 19-19 for 1 second. So, in the game one, that's what I saw. Big thing for Giannis getting there. He got 20 points, like I said. Middleton was 29 points. The Bucks offense looked good. The defense I saw, though, or the issue I saw was, again, that free throw shooting, and Phoenix never missed, and they kept scoring on those threes. Chris Paul made a couple big ones. Booker did as well. Near the end of the game, that boosted kind of the score to be 118 over Milwaukee, who 5. But yeah, so that's the key right here, is that free throw shooting is key. That's what I see in that, and why Milwaukee lost that game. But now let's look at game number 2 again in Phoenix, which let's just talk about Phoenix as a crowd. I know people have been doing this to Giannis a lot. When he gets to the free throw line and they start counting to point out he's holding the ball a little too long, taking a little too long to shoot those free throws. The Phoenix crowd was rocking. And it's been, I think it's definitely due to the pandemic and limited crowd sizes. We had last playoffs and finals run had no fans. It was in the bubble, and it was that artificial crowd. So I don't know if it's that experience, that having a year of that, and now getting like, oh man, this is a championship, atmosphere. Phoenix has never won a championship. They are loud, and that crowd was roaring. You could hear it on the TV. It was good to have full crowds, hopefully safely back in stadiums. But hey, if you're going, be safe, get vaccinated, and go watch some basketball and some other sports as those keep rolling along. Anyways, let's talk about game 2. Phoenix is now up 1-0, and this is when we know now after game 2, Giannis's knee is fine. Okay, Giannis's knee is fine. 42 points for him, 15-22 overall. Played 40 minutes, and you know the thing is though, he needed to play all 40 of those minutes. He needed to score all 42 of those points because of the rest of his team was struggling a little bit. Key thing was Holiday and Chris Middleton just were a little off. Holiday shot 7 for 21 overall, and Middleton was 5 for 16. 11 points for the latter and 17 for the former. I think I said that right. Anyways, so they didn't really help him, and their offense really only ran through Giannis. And I think when you're up against higher talent and higher higher level of talent, it's easy to shut down a team and restrict them when you have to run through one. Of course, they lost 118 to 108. They only lost by 10, but it just didn't look close. I think game 2 towards the end, it really looked different to me. I missed part of the first half, but I saw the full second half, and that's kind of what I saw towards the end. It just felt like the momentum was all behind the Suns, even behind Giannis's. I think he got 20 points in one quarter, which is the most by a player since Michael Jordan in some year. In 1 year, and he needed to do that to keep them in the game, and he did, and it did keep them competitive throughout. But the thing is, Phoenix just kept going as well. If we look at their shot, Milwaukee had 33 in the third, Phoenix had 32 in the fourth. Both scored 30. So Phoenix was, even though that push from Giannis, Phoenix kept responding. Phoenix wasn't struggling. Let's talk about some of their team. All of their starters had double-digit points, where if we look at the Bucks, only 3 of them did, which, I don't think that's so telling at all, because you look at the bench, and, the bench for Milwaukee only had 3 players score points, and they were under double digits. So I don't think that's as telling. It's just how the Suns are and how they're set up. But I do think it's something worth to mention is that, Suns starters were rolling. Booker had 31 points, made some clutch threes. Chris Paul was 23 points. Bridges had 27 points. And again, like I said, the momentum was following them, and I do really think it's the crowd, and this is why I think this is going to be so exciting going to Milwaukee, and why I'm looking forward to it. And I think Phoenix has a tough 2-game stretch coming up. Milwaukee hasn't won either, right? In a long time. Giannis is has this shadow over him of not being able to win these close games in the playoffs, right? He's in the finals now. He did it. He got this team to the finals, but he now needs to respond. And I do believe Milwaukee is going to be a tough place. It is a tough place. It's loud. It's going to be loud against the Suns on Sunday night and after that as well. These 2 games are critical for Milwaukee. I really view it as they have to win both, because you're telling me, even if they split the series, they go 1-1 here and they return to Phoenix up and Milwaukee or Phoenix is 3-1. You're telling me that crowd is not going to control the atmosphere of that game? No, I think the momentum's all going to be behind the Suns if they split the series. So for me, I really think Milwaukee needs to get both games, and they need to figure out a way to stop this pick and roll, this high pick and roll that the Suns run. If Booker and Paul get the switch that they want, they're going to drive to the basket constantly every single time, and it's been working for them. Sure, Giannis has a nice block every now and then, or the players, miss a shot or whatever, but Booker and Paul have just been able to draw these fouls so much, and that's why they've been getting to the line so often. and they've been able to stay consistent with their shooting at the line enough, and that's huge. So even though they're getting fouled, they're not making the shot, they are still getting those 2 points, which they're just shooting well. So to me, Milwaukee really needs to slow them down there. They need to figure out something. They need to do something. At times they figure it out, but then all of a sudden, both those players are back. And then especially with DeAndre Ayton being a beast in game 1 and then having more of a defensive game in game 2, didn't get a ton. I mean, he still scored 10 points with 11 rebounds, but he was more of that defensive presence. I think him, and even you could even throw in Crowder and Bridges right there. They are both players who, I mean, no, I don't even want to say it's these players. I think in general, the Suns are playing the Milwaukee Bucks aggressive, especially Giannis. If you watch Giannis constantly, he is being met at the rim with contact. I remember in game 1, I think it was, let me get the name right. I know it's Cameron Payne. I believe it was not Cameron Payne. I looked at the face and I know that was not it. I'm going to figure out who it is real quick. Figured it out. It was Cameron Johnson. Cameron Johnson, their small forward. Giannis in the game 1 at one point, was driving on him, and ultimately, forgot his name already. Johnson gave the foul there, but he stood right up and met Giannis at the basket one-on-one. And you saw that consistently with the players. And I think this is something you have to do with a player like Giannis. This isn't news to anyone. It is what it is, right? That's what you do. You want someone so physical down, you meet them there and show you're not going to just let them run over you, right? At times Giannis did because he's a freak athlete and he's just good at basketball, right? He's an MVP. But what the Suns are doing are being so physical with Giannis. He's wearing out. I mean, in game 2, his hands on the knees, tired. He 42 points, right? He really kept that team in the game. The offense was running through him. Defense, he had to be active, and he's on that sore knee. It doesn't look like it's that big a deal. Got 2 days rest now, so that's going to help. But it has to be sore, right? He hyperextended the knee, and we all saw it looked bad. I mean, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it looked worse than it was, but overall, I think it's going to be sore. So when Phoenix is keeping them or is causing him to have contact constantly, especially in game 2, you really saw their Phoenix swarm around him when he was down in the paint. And I think that's the way what they got to keep doing. So, and especially in a game where Middleton and Holiday aren't getting really going, aren't really making these big plays to shift the momentum back over to their side. Yeah, if you can meet Giannis there and make it tough for him, even if he makes the shot, he's feeling those bodies around him. He's he's fighting to get the ball up into the basket. So I think that is key for Phoenix to go forward, and it's key for Milwaukee if they want to get out of this. They want to get the championship. They need to have their exterior players address that and be at a point where they could drive that defensive presence of the Suns in the middle away, because you got to protect the wings. They didn't have to protect them that in this game too, and that's what we saw. So those are my things I think going forward. Home atmosphere in Milwaukee, they're gonna have that with them, so I want to see how they respond. Also, I'm just excited to see that crowd, and hopefully that stadium is rocking. Suns, you got to keep the pressure on Giannis to slow him down. Keep bullying him inside. Don't let him bully you. And then Milwaukee has got to help Giannis. They got to. Game 1, they scored more points than game 1. But this one looked different to me, and I think they're not going to be able to keep going and win games if that's how they are playing. And that's kind of what they're going for. If going through Giannis, I think the Suns can. They have stopped it, and I think they can continue to stop it. So those are my key a couple key things looking forward as the series heads to Milwaukee. I don't know when. Game 3 is on Sunday night this week. Game 4 would then be probably Tuesday night. So we'll see where we're at and what we recap. I'll probably hold the full episode until that game 4, just so we'll see what's going on. Maybe we're crowning the Suns as champions of the NBA this year, or maybe we're going back and it's tied 2-2, or it's 3-1. So either way, I'll wait till after game 4 to release the episode so we can cover all that. But stay up to date on all the content we're doing. Make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel to not miss out, and then like the videos, comment on the videos. Let me know what you guys think of this series so far. What do you think if I'm wrong about it? You think I said something? Let me know. I'm always down to learn more and be corrected if it's in a civil way. Don't just be rude. But let me know in the comments what you think. Catch you on the next one.